Here are my 6 tips to be better at the game in a way that is often overlooked. Alright, so tip number 1, understanding each fight from every aspect. That means knowing exactly what the tank, the heals, and the DPS is doing, and how difficult those tasks are. Not just reading about it, but making a solid attempt to actually understand them. This will help dispel the confusion, make fights far less intimidating when they're new, and help people to make fewer mistakes. Next time you're healing, because you're now considering the fight from every angle, other than I just need to keep people alive, you might choose to stand opposite from where the tank is standing, so that when the ads spawn and they immediately run to you because you get a healing threat, they have to run through the tank. Alright? You personally let everyone cleave off the boss, the tank had to use maybe one skill to aggro them, and no one had to move. It's things like this that are the difference between good healers and great healers. Now, DPS, you're constantly making trade-offs between losing effective DPS and following mechanics. And I tell you what, I'm fucking guilty as anyone to stand in like that last bit of fire so I can finish my last cast with my cooldowns and trinkets and bloodlust up and all that nonsense. So you have to understand how bad that fire is. How much attention are you pulling away from the tank that needed those heals? Or is this bit of fire okay? Understanding that the fire is coming, could you have been in a better position to start with? Do you really need to attack the ads the second they fucking spawn? Waiting an extra second allow you to do more damage because all your cleaves are more focused because you didn't attack straight away, and avoid being mealeed and losing 90% of your health, right? Also saving the healer a cooldown. In tanks, you need to understand everything, because you, for the most part, control the rhythm of the game. So ask yourself, can I move these ads closer together so the DPS can cleave? Should I use my cooldowns now when I'm taking a lot of damage from the boss, or later when the healers have to deal with intense raid heals? When you start considering players other than yourself dealing with mechanics, it lets you play better as a group. And if you've never played a respective tank, healer, or DPS, go on level 1 today. Go and really give them a good go and get a better understanding for the class. It'll make you a much better player. Tip number 2, educate people. So once you've successfully learnt step 1 and you find a group is struggling, you can offer better, more group-centric advice. This will just let you clear more content and get better gear. The difference a raid leader makes is insane. And that's what you want to work towards. Being a source of education for your friends, the people that you just randomly do pugs with. I'm sure you can remember some encounter back in the day that you were struggling to kill and you couldn't quite get it down, and then you brought someone new in or somebody spoke up, and then you made 1 or 2 small changes, and then it was really easy. So educate people. Tip number 3, and I think this one's the most important, I really do, is people forget that behind the screen sits a person. A person that feels bad when they fail, a person that gets happy when you say something nice about them, and fuck me if I don't feel shitty after 20 wipes on the same boss. So what do you think happens when people feel frustrated and shitty when you're wiping? You guessed it, they feel bad and they play worse. Way worse. You need to be that shining light of hope. Remind people that we can do this content, phrase what you have to say in a constructive, positive way. Then once the boss is dead, if you really want to tell the guy that loves fire how fucking bad he is, do it. But do it after, and only if you have to. So really, morale, it matters. It really, really matters. Alright, make the group yourself. Tip number 4. When you're doing mythics, pugging, or anything remotely difficult that requires group work, form the group yourself. It doesn't take that much work. It allows you to speak with the people, ask them questions about their previous experience, check that they have enchants, all that good jazz, alright? You get to control the group makeup, so you have control over battle reses. Or if you're doing mythics and you want to share gear, you can get a full leather group. You know what I mean? So you guys can all share gear and get gear faster. Doing this will also stop you from joining a group that's carrying their undergeared shitty friend, or join a group that has a high item level but doesn't know how to fucking play the game because they've got no experience, they can't link any achievements. Alright, tip number 5. Be critical of yourself. Really think about how you personally can get better. focus on what you think you're doing poorly, and if you don't know what that is, ask your guild, ask your friends, look up class-specific guides. Everybody has room for improvement. I have room for improvement. I'm pretty terrible. I haven't played WoW in a long time. I'm coming back, and I'm trying to get back on the rhythm. So pull apart at everything. What feels uncomfortable? Are your keybinds uncomfortable? How much avoidable damage are you taking? Really think about it all. Now, tip number 6, do the things you're bad at. Now that you're aware of the things you're doing poorly, do them. Force yourself to learn them. As an example, I know I lose a lot of effective DPS when I have to move a lot in fights as a mage, right? So, and I shouldn't, right? Because mages have an array of skills to help me with this. So when I'm doing encounters now that don't require movement, I still move. I move as much as I can until it feels fluid. And when you start doing these things, you keep working on them and just keep working on them and pick new things. Is it picking up ranged adds that you struggle with it? Is it managing your cooldowns? Is it healing while moving? You'll know where your errors are. You just keep doing them until you feel really comfortable with them. So those are my 6 tips for getting better at WoW that people don't always think about. I'm going to try and make videos pretty regularly, so if you like what you see, please do click the like button down somewhere and the subscribe button up or down somewhere. I also do stream on Australian time, so please feel free to pop in and say hi. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere time, it'll be pretty late for you, but I'm always going to be there. That link will be down below as well. Other than that, thanks for popping in and saying hi, and I'll bring another guy when I can.